Thank you very much. Okay, here's my agenda. First, would like to introduce myself, and then I'm going to talk about life insurance and then about the company HDI where I work. In the second part, I'm going to give you an insight in my responsibilities and my work at HDI. And I'm going to end my presentation with a short discussions of the terms management and leadership, which play a huge role in my work. Yes, my name is Katrin Link. I am 36 years old and I live in Cologne with my partner and my bonus daughter. And early in my life, I discovered that I like math. And so after school, I went to the University of Cologne and studied math and got my diploma in 2009. After a job fair, where I talked with some people from different companies, I applied for a job at the insurance company HDI, which is formerly known as HDI Gerling. I started there as a product developer at the actuary department. An actuary is actually only a mathematician in an insurance company. It's only a term. But in addition to my work at HDI, I studied to become an actuary of the German Actuary Association, the DAV. As a product developer, I managed many projects and had some opportunities to build teams in these projects. And I liked that very much and started to get more interested in becoming a manager. I spoke to my supervisor and got into a development program for managers where I really learned a lot. In addition, I got to manage a big project in which I got in contact with our customer service department. And the cooperation in the team was really very good. And and I got the information that there was going to be a vacant position as a manager of a team in customer service in a few months. And so when the job got out, I applied and got the job. My team consisted then of 17 employees and was and is still called Mathematics and Technics. Later in my presentation, I'm going to explain you what my team really does. After a year, I got promoted and got 4 more teams with 4 team leaders to manage. So in total, I had 90 employees. Due to a few reorganizations since the beginning of this year, I have now 2 departments and manage directly 43 employees. What does a life insurance company do? Life insurance in a nutshell, because we don't have so much time, but perhaps for a few terms which are important in life insurance. What do? We take over risks and help you when you're in need. There's a difference between risk insurance and savings insurance. In risk insurance, you pay money, which is called premium in the insurance companies. And if the insured risk happens, you get a much bigger paid premium. This insured risk can be, for example, your disability to work because of long-term illness. Then it is called disability insurance. Or the insured risk can be your death. Then it is called term life insurance. For example, many families who take out a loan to buy a house buy this term life insurance to minimize their risk of losing the house when one of them dies. In savings insurance, on the other hand, you give the insurance company premiums, and after many years, you get capital or a pension payment. On these premiums you pay, minus costs, of course, you get interest results. And the interest rate is set at the beginning of your policy. So if the interest rate drops during this time, you benefit. For example, the interest rate for policies which began in 2004 was 2.75%. So you can imagine these policies benefit now from the present low interest rates we have now. There are also policies which are fund-based. Then there is not an interest rate, but you participate in the fund performance. HDI is an insurer since 1993. and is part of the Talanx AG, which is the third biggest insurer in Germany. We are divided into property and life insurance, and the property insurance, which is called HDI Global SE, has its headquarters in Hanover and operates worldwide, especially in Mexico and Poland. In life insurance, we have 4 brands, HDI, of course, and Neue Leben, Tago-Versicherungen, and Postbankversicherungen, which are situated in Cologne, Hamburg, Hilden, and Hameln. The customer service for life insurances of HDI is in Cologne, and that's where I work. What is my responsibility as HDI? I am the head of 2 departments with 43 employees, 19 employees in my team Mathematics and Techniques, and 24 employees in my team PAV4. PAV means private pension scheme, in contrast to company pensions. So this team answers questions of our customers regarding the payment in case of death and termination of their life insurances. My other team, which I had from the start, Mathematics and Techniques, answers questions of our customers regarding mathematical answers. For example, when you have a fund-based savings insurance and you have questions about the fund performance, my team is going to answer you. In addition, we optimize and automate business processes for the whole customer service. There we use Java and a low-code software called Blue Prism, which is a robotic process automation software. Our third big task are the annual informations for our customers. When you have an insurance policy, you get information about the status of your insurance every year. And my team develops and improves these annual informations. These are my responsibilities, but what do I really do my whole working day? On this slide, you find a range of my tasks. First, I coach my employees and help them when they need assistance. These are 2 different things. In the latter task, they ask me something and I help them to work it out. For example, they have to make a decision or when they need an idea how to formulate something for a letter. But to coach my employees goes beyond that. Coaching is to develop my employees and to help them learn something new, especially about themselves and not only the technical knowledge. For example, I teach them how to handle conflict situations or how to manage their time or how to learn to speak in front of a crowd. Coaching there is really the best part of my work for me, and I'm really happy when I see my employees grow. To grow, of course, you need to give and get feedback, and for feedback is really important how you give it. So we train that sometimes, and because if you give it the wrong way, you can get a conflict in return. Okay, so every company needs a vision and goals, and they are often drafted in the abstract because they have to work for many departments. And I communicate and explain the vision and the goals to my team, and I design workshops in which we work out what the vision and the goals mean for us in the specific. I also design workshops to support my teams in their development, and I have always an open ear for all of the problems. My employees plan their vacations in coordination with the team members. They share the same skills. So they do that on their own. And I am only there to approve their application for vacation leave in our human resources portal. My supervisor has the budget for salary increases for his 10 departments, and I propose these for my employees to him and write the grounds. So that's a really nice nice work as well. In addition to that, I have many more tasks, but this should be enough for now. Okay, my job title in German is Abteilungsleiterin or Führungskraft, and in English you can translate that into head or manager. But there is another term called leader, which means something different than manager, and I would like to clarify these terms now with you. To get in contact with you, to get to know your thoughts on these two terms, I would like to use the tool menti.com. Please open now in your browser, for example, Internet Explorer or Chrome, Firefox, or whichever browser you have, the website menti.com. You see, when you do that, you see the first image from this slide. When you have opened that, I'm going to give you a code in a few minutes, which you type into the box and click on Submit. Next thing, you see the image from the left bottom of this slide where you type in your answers to my question and click then again on Submit. Then the image from the right side will appear and you can get back to my presentation slides after that. You don't have to close the window from menti.com because I'm going to ask you a few more questions. And that's really important, you are not going to see the results on the website. I'll show them to you later in my presentation slides when everyone has finished. Okay, so now let's get started with the first question. First, I would like to ask you what management means to you, or what you think a manager does. So please go now to menti.com and type in the code 7160672. And here's my next question to you. The question, what means leadership to you? And what do you think a leader does? Okay, great. So on this slide, you see now the word cloud, which you created with your answers to my questions about management and leadership. And on the left side, we see your answers to management, and the bigger words, there were 2 or 3 of you who answered them. So we have here controlling and organizing as the words which you agree on, and I see planning, managing, organizing, results-driven, objective, tight time schedule, coordinate employees, delegate tasks. And these are all things really you said here, which I totally agree with you, which means what a manager does, or what management means to me. And promote daily schedule, managing a lot of things to do. Create and maintain budget, I think you mean there. Yes, okay, so I think you know what a manager does now. Okay, and on the right hand, you have the words for leadership, which are motivating, not authority or power, setting and reaching goals, communication skills, leading a team, convincing people, motivate people to grow, inspire people, someone who leads, has social influence, and trusting and inspiring, and really great answers you gave. So we see you already know there is a difference between the two terms, and thank you very much for your input. And on the next slide, I'm going to tell you about some things you already said, but perhaps there are a few more things which help you understand the two terms a little bit more. So here on this slide, you find my fundamentals on the difference about management and leadership. For me, management is a method, whereas leadership is a mindset. For example, as a leader, I think you have to believe in lifelong learning. And as a manager, you see human beings as human resources, and they are sometimes only numbers for you. But as a leader, they are partners and you work together. You find leadership more in companies where the hierarchical structure, really tough word for me, is flat because the leader is part of the team. And the manager, on the other hand, sees him or herself often as higher than his employees. So, and to motivate or not to demotivate your employees is a task, I think, of a manager and a leader. And in the past, after the Industrial Revolution, you had many tasks of your employees where they did pretty much the same thing over and over in a certain way. But now we are in the middle of the information revolution. And the tasks of my employees, for example, shift more and more to tasks where they have to come up with something new. And these are called heuristic tasks. In the past, carrots and sticks or rewards and punishment was the best way to motivate you. But today, with heuristic tasks, this doesn't work anymore and is even bad for the company. You can see that, for example, in the scandal at Volkswagen. Today you motivate through autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So you let your employees find their own way, let them get better and better in what they do, and have a vision or purpose to know why they do what they do. As a manager, on the one hand, controls and monitors. You already said that in your answers. And a leader gives feedback and helps his employees to learn without fear. And for you, an easy way to find out if a manager or a leader is in front of you is the last part. A manager tells you what to do. And a leader asks you what you think is the best for you to do for the company. So now we are at the end of my presentation, and I would like to ask you to ask any questions you still have. And I'm learning as well, so I would like for you to give me feedback on my presentation today and my answers I gave you. So feel free to give me feedback and to help me become better. So it's again menti.com, and the same code as for the questions it's 421637 and 8. So I leave the menti.com a little while more open. And meanwhile, I have some book recommendations for you. So if you want to know more about leadership, there are 3 books I'd like to recommend you. It's Daniel Pink, Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. It's Sebastian Pop's Party Goal, Leading with the Brain, and Frank Beckford, High Performance and the Human Touch. I read a lot, and I read a lot about leadership and management, and these 3 books are really the best for me and help me a lot. So perhaps if you would like to want to know more about leadership, these 3 books are really good.